Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Sticker Set List, a webinar about all things stickers. Today, we have two speakers. Myself, Stacey Garrett, I'm the VP of Marketing for Ideation Creative Brand Management and have been doing all things stickers, swag, you name it, for just over 26 years. We also have Mitchell Burr. He is Burr?
Burr, yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
okay.
very short last name.
Yeah. He's the marketing manager for Promoted You, one of our premier sticker partners. He has knowledge in all things manufacturing and products details, tons of industry experience. So we brought him on to help answer some of those questions related to anything tied to stickers. Thank you for joining us on this, Mitchell. I'm pretty excited to talk to you more about all the cool things in the sticker world.
Happy to be here. Very excited to see everybody's excitement for stickers.
Yes. Okay, so real quickly, why would we do an entire webinar on stickers? It seems silly because most people, when they come to us, we're their branded merch company. They come to us and say, hey, can I get some stickers? Like, how can you do a whole webinar on something could be as simple as, can I get some stickers? Well, because there are so many questions related to stickers. When someone reaches out and says, hey, can I get stickers? We need to know, what's it going on? Is it going to go on this water bottle? Is it going to go on a piece of paper, a notebook, a return address label? We need a lot more information than just, can we get some stickers? So we're going to talk about all of those different things during this webinar. Also, we want to discuss why it's cheaper most of the times to do 1,000 stickers than it is to do 600 stickers. It's kind of mind-blowing to think, wait a minute, I can get more of something for less money. So Mitchell's going to talk a little bit about why that is sometimes the case with economies of scale. We have heard many times, this decal or sticker or label didn't hold up in the rain. I put it on something that went outside and it completely faded, fell apart, disintegrated. Hopefully, after this webinar, you will have a better understanding of why that might happen. And then we are also talking about this because we think that stickers have the potential to increase the perceived value of a giveaway with using special packaging, unique materials, hang tags, you name it. So you're not just handing out a sticker, you're handing out so much more than that. And then another question we get a lot of times, I mean, all the time, what size do you think I should do? Well, that is such a broad question that hopefully, after thinking through some of the stuff we're about to tell you, it'll give you a better understanding of why anybody on our team at Ideation would ask that question, because there is a huge range of sizes. And so we have to ask the questions in order to make sure we send you a sticker that's going to fit on the items that you want it to fit on. Of course, with all of this, Ideation team members are always able to kind of lead you in a route to get you the best sticker for your needs. But that comes with some questions that sometimes feel like, wait, I just want a sticker. Those questions are really to help you get something super cool and functional for your needs, so that if it is outside or it goes through the dishwasher, it doesn't just disintegrate. Okay, before I move to the next slide, real quickly, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We are going to open it up to Q&A at the end, but I know sometimes it's easier to ask the question in real time while we're talking about it. So feel free to put that in the chat and Alexandra will help make sure those questions get answered. Okay, so what are we going to talk about here? We're going to talk about super exciting things like types of adhesive. Why is that sticker coming off super easily? How do I get it so that it doesn't leave a material on the back after it's pulled off? We're going to talk about types of material. If you want it to be able to withstand the elements and be outside versus something that's going to go on a notebook. We're going to talk about different shape options because that in itself is a huge opportunity to be a little more creative as doing different shape options. We'll talk about some packaging that maybe you didn't know about that we would love to share with you because they really can help elevate a sticker that has your branding on it. And then just some other considerations that maybe you hadn't thought of that you can think about now as you determine what stickers you might do for your business. So first up, we're going to talk about types of adhesive. I'm going to stop sharing and we are going to have Mitchell and myself here and we're going to show some examples with different types of adhesive. But first, we're just going to kind of go over some of the choices. I remember years ago, I'd have someone asking if they could get some stickers and I'd say, well, do you want it to be like removable or permanent? Like, do you want it to be able to come off? Why would people, Mitchell, can you help give us some insight? Like, why would you want removable versus permanent?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a very common question, if not the most. But ideally, it really comes down to your application and how you're kind of delivering the product to somebody. So, for instance, if I'm handing it away at a trade show or I'm giving it to my employees and I don't really know where the product's going, and typically, when people get a sticker, they put it on products that they carry with them, a water bottle, laptop, then you want it to be removable because you don't really know where it's going. You don't want to hand somebody a permanent sticker and then they put it on something and they peel it off their paint on their wall or their laptop and it damages it. So the safest bet is always to go with removable. And that is the most popular, adhesive with us. And when you peel it off, there is no residue underneath. And it's probably the easiest way to go. However, if you're, going towards permanent, this is when you're thinking more of like the application, you know exactly where it's going. So for instance, if you're putting it on like a beer bottle wine label, you know that it's going there and you want it there and it's for a special event. Or if you have a healthcare, a hospital and you need to label all the, let's say, the carts with, the different wards, like that's, you want it exactly where you don't want people peeling it off, want it to stick on there and it has a designated purpose. So those I would say are like the two core ways of looking at removable and permanent.
Yeah, so removable doesn't mean it just easily whoop, comes right off, right? It's more what's being left behind when it's taken off.
Exactly, exactly. So like our removable and our permanent, I would say in terms of the adhesive strength is almost identical. The only difference is when you peel off the permanent, it leaves a mess behind. And then you peel off the removable and it like there's nothing behind. So we see people leave this removable on like quite industrial applications like HVAC machines, dishwasher safe when it comes to putting removable in the dishwasher, waterproof bumper stickers for cars. Like it's our most industrial sticker, like the Rolls Royce of stickers. So yeah, it's quite strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think like way back in the day, you would think of bumper stickers like you didn't want it to be permanent because that is the paint on your car. Like no one's wants to put elect, John Smith for Senate on their car and not have it be able to come off and ruin their car. Um, and so you need it to have a bit of removability, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Stephanie put in the comments, home goods. Like, how many things have we tried to get the sticker off of and we can't get it off?
yeah,
Like it leaves a residue mess and then you're YouTubing how to get goo from a sticker off of. I'll never understand when they put it on the bottom of a bottle and you can't get it off and it leaves this sticky wine glasses. Oh my goodness, I have so many cocktail glasses where it's got this like I could not get it off of the glass.
yeah.
That may be time though, right? So some of the adhesives, if they're left on for too long, may potentially, if they're outdoors or whatever, leave a little more residue, even if they were removable.
Yeah, like everything's like ours, like I've had it on water bottles for many, many years, 5+ years. But obviously, like heat to an extensive amount of heat
Yeah,
could eventually like take its toll. But UV actually is okay because it's just so you know, it has a laminate on top that prevents any UV damage, which
to kind
also,
of.
yeah, yeah, is also a a big factor in how it degrades.
Yeah, I mean, that's also on the bumper sticker concept, which we don't really do a ton of bumper stickers anymore, what I think is funny because that used to be a big thing way back when I first started 20 years ago. But no UV penetrating, it also means that there's fading around the sticker, but not where the sticker is. So you take the sticker off and it looks pristine behind it, right? Yeah, I think that you have such a good point about application. If you are doing stickers, if a client is doing stickers that they're just handing out as a giveaway at a trade show, they do not want it permanent because like they do not know what it's for. If they're just handing them out like I got this from you at a show, you don't know what I'm going to put this on. And so if this had been permanent and I put it on my car and then it leaves this residue or takes off some of the paint, that's a problem, right? So the removable is the safest. You know that it's not just easily removable, but it is removable with less residue. So that's a great tip on, but if you're trying, like if we have a customer that has HVAC machines, we lots of air conditioners, you name it, they want to put a number for service, they want that to be permanent. They want it to actually stay on there and not come off and be a real pill to try and get off. Shopping carts, anything where you know exactly where it's going and you might even be the one applying it, permanent is the way to go. And then there are some that I know you guys don't necessarily produce, but where they are security specific stickers where you cannot get it off at all. Most common applications I've seen for that is like company issued laptops where they would put that property of and maybe even a serial number on it. And that sticker cannot come off. Like it is just never going anywhere. They come at a cost, but and there's that use is in places where you're trying to identify a piece of equipment, company issued something. We don't do a lot of them, but it is another type of adhesive that is little, not in the advertising world, more in the internal IT department kind of product. Any other thoughts on adhesive before we move on to materials? That pretty much covers adhesive. Do you see very many bumper stickers done?
Yes, I do. It's less common now. I would say the water bottle and the laptop are the bumper sticker of the 21st century. Honestly, you'll get technically more impressions on those items than you will on anything else in your life. And that's why we always say that's how powerful stickers are, is
Yes.
because it's like it's attached to you on the most personal items. So, yeah, not as much
It's
bumper stickers.
Yeah, I mean I have a sticker on my car, but it is not a it's not what I would call a traditional bumper sticker. It's a manta ray. So it's more just like a little bit of personality, but it's not stating like usually bumper stickers were silly or funny or said a little personality and a little different kind of humor. But I mean, we still do them on occasion, just not as often as we used to 20 years ago. So. Okay, so now let's talk about this is probably the one that has the most confusion, and that is types of material, because there are tons of really cool materials, but they're not all created equal in their application. And some of these I know that you probably don't do internally, but like the days of the return address label, a paper type of label that is really intended for single use, inexpensive, put it on a, like someone that wants to have some bags at their little boutique, they might put that sticker on there, but it's not going to get the long-term wear and tear. So it's a little more affordable. So that's one type of material. We definitely don't do as many as those as we used to, but it still has its place. but the most common, I assume, is the vinyl sticker. And can you talk to why that is the most common?
Yeah, so it wasn't always the most common vinyl, like technically, like if you look 10, 15 years ago, it was primarily what's called polypropylene or paper-based labels. But vinyl and removable and all these different technologies has evolved since then. And that's why vinyl is so popular, is because it's kind of this one go-to material that can be removable, it can be permanent, and it can stand up to the elements. So that's why people choose vinyl, because it's like an ease of use. That's why people choose it, because it has all these properties and these features that people really, really like. And
This
then
is an
paper,
example of vinyl. You can see kind of a shine to it, right? Like these are all a vinyl example. They have a little more sheen, but you can do matte versions, I know, but they're just a little heavier.
yeah. And with vinyl, you can also play around with laminates. So like there with our core materials, or let's say our base is vinyl, like you said, we might have matte, we might have glossy, we might have semi-glossy, we might have a version with laminate, and each version of these variations is dependent on, like, hey, I want to add a laminate because I want it to be the most durable, or I wanted to add matte because this brand doesn't want to be as flashy.
Yeah.
So, you kind of adjust the material depending on the use case as well, similar to adhesive, and especially the client, and knowing them and understanding what their needs are.
So when you do something like this, these metallic, is
Yep.
that also still a vinyl?
So the glitter and the holographic is actually not a vinyl. It's printed on a different material. The holographic is removable. I believe that, from what I remember, the glitter is permanent. We are working on a removable version of it, but the whole idea behind these two products, a holographic and glitter, they were launched quite close together. And it doesn't work for every brand. It doesn't work for every application. But if you really think and you kind of like brainstorm, there's very interesting ways that you can use holographic and glitter. Like glitter is sometimes synonymous with holidays,
Mm.
launch parties, makeup brands, cosmetics, part like entertainment industry, like concerts and stuff like that. So it's a lot about knowing what the use case is, and changing it up and making it a bit more exciting than just a standard sticker. It
Yeah.
goes a long way. When you see like a white sticker and then a glitter sticker, it just stands out.
Well, and I mean, I love a little bling, so I love them, but you also have to know your audience and know, like, if you're trying to do it for men and women, I mean, Mitchell, you might not be as inclined to put a glitter sticker on your water bottle. Like, I'm not, no judgment, do it if you want to do it. But yes, you knowing your audience, but it still is very durable, just like vinyl would be. It just happens to be metallic-y kind of material. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you guys have done some super cool stuff lately with some other materials. So this little guy is something we just got. Is it even available yet? It's super
Yep.
new.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
This
glow in the dark sticker. Like it's super cute, just regular in the daytime, but this sticker glows. So talk about from a branding perspective, like you get a little bit of visibility at nighttime. Like it would be great on my water bottle because I'd be able to see it at night, right? A little bit like if they did this scuba mask and did around the edge was the glowing, it would have been so cool. So that material it's vinyl. It just happens to have a glow in the dark, right?
That's correct. This one is permanent, but we like these, as we what we do is we launch it on a let's say a permanent or removal base, and then we, based off demand, we evolve into adding different adhesives and what have you later on. But yeah, the glow in the dark has been very, very popular. It's really cool. Like I said, it's similar to the glitter and holographic. You have to have it like play around with the creative and the artwork, and it really stands out. And when somebody gets it, it feels like limited edition. It feels
Yeah.
unique. And it'll surprise you when, if you go to bed and your laptop's near you and your laptop will start glowing.
It really is. It really does glow. I mean, I think from a practical standpoint, having just lost power recently, what a great thing for an electric company, even for stuff that goes in the garage, to be able to identify the garage door manufacturer, your HVAC. Having that glow in the dark is actually like the electrical companies should do them because it's such a perfect have an outage, here's the phone number to call, that you can actually spot that at a distance. So even though it's also super fun and cute, and I have this because it has the cocktails, of course, because I love my cocktails, but I think that there's a lot of really practical uses for that glow material as well that maybe wouldn't have thought of, that you've been just doing a regular white sticker. So I love this. Another one that you have just launched. Oh, this is so cute. It's fuzzy. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but this sticker material it's fuzzy. Like a peach. It reminds me of a peach. So this is really cute in this little Sasquatch guy. And is it permanent or removable?
This one's permanent,
Permanent.
but we're working on the removable option as well.
I bet this has been a hit.
Yeah, yeah, this was like we didn't really know how it would take off, and it's been in extreme demand. And it there's this 90s nostalgia that it plays into. And the one thing I will say about this product is that there's also a sensory aspect to it. So like you have yourself like, holding it, and then you subconsciously start like petting it, and it plays into that like kind of fidget spinner world, or like those, have you ever seen those
Yes.
sensory stickers?
Mm-hmm.
So it's extremely unique. It kind of it can convey like a soft side to a business or an event. And Yeah, it's really, really fun. It's a great product. Yeah.
When we were prepping for this, you and I talked about this as a fun, like if you do a custom plush for a customer, like if a company has like a mascot that they're doing a custom plush, make a hang tag of this sticker that goes on the plush so that they then have a sticker to be able to put on their laptop or water bottle or whatever, which, let's be real, will probably get more exposure than the expensive plush because the plush is going to sit on a shelf somewhere, very cute, super awesome. But this is probably going to get everyday visibility because it's going to go on the water bottle or whatever. I think anything where you want to have that like sense, just as you talked about, it kind of takes me back to, we talked about this a little bit too, like the scratch and sniff stickers. Like that's also a possibility at higher numbers, but this is that another element of kind of getting your attention more than just a regular sticker. And these, I recall was reading that these are dishwasher safe or waterproof or something.
They are waterproof.
Waterproof.
We tested them in the dishwasher. They can run through, but over time they will certainly
Yeah,
fade.
yeah.
But we've seen most people put them on their laptops and like they don't want to take it off.
I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, I love this material. So I would love to see some other ideas on where this could be used because I think it is a new enough thing that everybody's going to migrate towards it and it becomes way more than just a sticker. And we can do some cool stuff with adding a hang tag to it so that this can be part of a giveaway, or like we're going to talk about this, but it could be in packaging so that you could do this as one of many stickers that you then attach to a giveaway, or it is your giveaway. Any other special materials that are on in the works?
Yeah, actually, just related to glow in the dark, we just launched reflective, because one of the, as you were speaking to the idea of like there's more of an application, you can't see where you are or you're trying to look for something. The second this reflective, and it's actually like a proven and like there's more of a commercial side to it. like that we developed reflective instead of it just being about, the glow aspect. So yeah, it's quite refractive of light when you have any little bit of light on it. So that works really well. And then the header card sticker packs, which I'll show you there, and
Yeah.
all the stuff there. So we'll get into those.
Yeah. Yeah, the reflective, it's been around for a while in varying degrees of quality. So I'm sure that what you guys are, just because you're talking about it, are going to develop is going to be really good. But we use that a ton in safety programs. Like if you're going to put a sticker on a hard hat, why not make it reflective and have some safety component to it versus just white. Stickers for lunch boxes, again, safety related, people on a job site, people out in the field, runners that might be running with a water bottle or on a bicycle, like the reflective material. Again, it's just a sticker, but it adds some other pieces that make people think, oh man, that's super useful and has like another purpose beyond just looking fun and cool. So I love that's great that the reflective will be out. So now let's talk about shapes. It used to be that every sticker that we did, because of technology, this was years ago, it basically was a circle, a square, a rectangle. Those were your choices, ovals. That was the most cost-effective way because you didn't have the ability to cut things in shapes. Now, we don't even see rectangles, squares, circles. Like I just ordered some stickers for a little side project that I do, and it about killed me to order a square. Like I felt like I was just missing something, such a great opportunity because these die cuts are that's so much more interesting. And I look on my water bottle, like that's the one that stands out, like without even seeing what's in it. This speaks to me, like the different shapes, like just that little bit makes this sticker more interesting, right? So let's talk about, there's a lot of different terms around shapes. So we have die cut, kiss cut. I don't even think I have a kiss cut example here. Oh yeah, I do. This is kiss cut. Can you kind of talk about what
Yeah.
a kiss cut is?
Yes. Yeah. So as you were saying, shape, like the ability to have any shape and any size is also like within innovation within the last 10 to 15 years as well. So the whole idea is like where, a while back you'd be less encouraged to do something with, creative means and doing things to the outline and it would cost more. Our philosophy is more to speak to the idea of do what you want, get creative, like don't conform to the circles or the squares, and do something interesting. So with that being said, you have these different types of cuts and different types of shapes of how we produce the stickers. The first one being die cut.
Mhm.
This is our most popular. It's when the actual
Is
sticker
that die
is
cut?
that's die cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where the actual cut of the sticker is around the contours of the design. This is more of like it has a bunch of different benefits. The one being like when you hand it out, it doesn't look as like standard as as the old stickers. It kind of stands out, and it kind of adds a bit more of a flair to it. Um, See where the hands stand out, like it kind of you got something completely different than a standard shape. And then the kiss cut is when you it actually the more technical version of it is that the knife kisses the backing, so you're able to peel it off a little bit easier, and it comes at a different production method. So the benefits of having a kiss cut is that you can mix and match a bunch of different designs onto one sheet. This is probably the second most popular product because you have the ability to have one sheet and you could have as many, you're still getting that die cut, look to it, but it's all just kind of laid out on a sheet for you. And you could use the excess parts of the sheet to have a call to action, to have a QR code, to tell you about an event that like is happening. So it's like you kind of have this extra space of media to use to your own leisure without affecting the actual stickers on the sheet.
So this is an example actually of a die cut and kiss cut, right?
Yes, yeah,
Because
yeah.
this whole shape is die cut. You can see it's not just an oval because it's got this little like knockout here, which may not seem like a big deal, but I think it does elevate it slightly to have that kind of accent. But then it has a cut here in the middle so that this is separate. And you can see they added a QR code and more information on this top hang tag, but this here is the kiss cut.
That's
So the
right.
whole outside die cut, then this is a kiss cut.
And that ability to have that kiss cut and a die cut combination is an although like another alternative to make it easier to peel a die cut. So like you have your hang tab, which is technically a peel tab and a hang tag combined. And that product that you just showed, our hang tab, it also has a die cut hole that's been punched out to the top. That's if you want retail, if you have a retail facing environment, you could get to put it on a merchandiser, which is actually
Mhm.
a very fast growing segment. To having like merch at an event, or like a pop-up shop, and you have a bunch of these on there, and they do really well because they're impulse purchases. And it's like you think about any trip you've ever traveled to, and there's a gift shop, there's usually a sticker on a hang tag there that the people want to take off and bring home with them.
Seriously, Mitchell, I was just in the Grand Canyon. I have never seen so many stickers in my whole life. But what I will tell you is there were almost just too many. I didn't end up buying one because it was like overload. I couldn't decide. There were just so many, and I don't need 10 Grand Canyon stickers. But I definitely think that they know that that's a big selling area. But I like this from like our clients, if they had a trade show, think about like doing some cool stickers and actually having the display be kind of retail where they get to pick it off of the display rack and they could do a QR code to a contest, to a video of a new product launch, contact information for an account manager, some kind of a HubSpot or whatever form that they could fill out. So I mean, I think this would give a big retail presence. And I know you can buy the little racks to show these for almost nothing. So it like elevation of a very simple trade show booth and kind of activation feeling because you're allowing people to pick and choose designs that speak to them.
Yeah, that the shopping experience is definitely something that we've seen a lot of people get to have excitement over instead of just providing with the subset of what you think is best, but the idea of doing a bunch of different designs, different shapes, and then having them on display. People love that.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And then this happens to be your business card. It's
Yes.
actually a sticker and you've got this sticker that I could then pull off and put on my laptop or my water bottle or whatever. And then your contact information here. So this is also die cut and kiss cut because of that center cut, but it also makes this super easy to come off and go on to something. And to be honest, because I needed it for this webinar, I have not done that, but it took willpower because I love this little sticker. And how often does a business card get that much exposure that after an event? So this is also a fun way, again, trade show maybe, that you're getting business cards into people's hands versus just the adult trick-or-treating that sometimes happens. So I love this. And it can be any image. So this happens to say you got this, but it could be anything. We were talking about doing the You Rock sign or a crown or a fun saying, or maybe it's your character that you have a mascot. It could be anything. There are really no limits to that. So we can get creative with you to come up with something to even just try out at your next show. Okay, then we talked about this briefly, but the sticker sheets, that is a new thing that kind of leads us into packaging as well. But we could do an entire sheet that just had a bunch of different stickers on it. They could be like in this example, it's not really promoting anything, but then we've got a header that is a QR code and more information on whatever you wanted it to be. So this is a great inexpensive giveaway that gets you lots of exposure, right? And you were saying you could even print
Yeah, what
around.
Yeah, you could do like we don't charge extra for having to like there's no additional process for, production process for adding around the sticker. Like it's like something we encourage you guys to do. Like even the white, you can make it all, pink if you wanted to.
Okay.
And the one, also big thing about sticker pages is that you ideally you want to like if it's a theme, you want to carry that theme throughout the whole page so it looks like a more packaged product.
Yeah, more cohesive. And I
Hmm.
mean, we this is what we would do. Like we're super, everyone at the ideation team is super creative, so we would be able to help come up with those things that would feel cohesive messaging. So that's a great segue into packaging. We talked a little bit about these so far, but this is something that I think is underutilized, is this packaging option. Even the hang tag is a packaging option, right? Like you don't have to do just a sticker. Let's get creative with giving you a little more exposure by doing these additional spots with QR codes and calls to action and offers. Maybe there's a coupon on it. Um, there are so many choices for packaging. I mean, when I saw this Eras Tour pack, like I couldn't not take it because, and I loved all the, I didn't even know what all the stickers were, but it just spoke to me because it had more information and a QR code on the back. So there are lots of choices on packaging that you may not have thought of when it comes to stickers because you've just done, oh, hey, we need a sticker, but it's such a great way to do a little set like this for a new hire, like an
Hmm.
employee package. Maybe you don't have a lot of funds for an onboarding kit and you can't do a water bottle and a laptop and a t-shirt and a hat. I mean, even something as simple as this with some different stickers that go on the company issued laptop and the water bottle that they're already using at their desk. Like this is inexpensive, but also feels like something fun to welcome someone on the team. So there's lots of uses for all this different packaging. Do you have any other thoughts to add to that?
Yeah, the one thing I always want to remind people too is that, what the sticker pages and mostly all of our products, we call them like customization enablers in the sense that, you may get a water bottle or t-shirt and the first thing you do is you wear it or you fill it up with water. And with the sticker and especially the sticker packs and the pages is that the first thing you do is start decorating. It creates an experience and you start to find things that you want to put it on. So it creates a different experience to traditional promotional products that let you kind of take control of what you want to do with the product.
Mhm.
And best place it where you kind of like want to place it, and I was a sticker collector as a kid, and like I held on to my collection, and I'd always put it on my, my only things that were special to me, right? Whether it was a
Mhm.
snowboard or my car or my water bottle. So that's the kind of the two benefits of these sticker packs and these sticker sheets is that it creates even a more of experience because you have all these different designs and you have the ability to put them wherever you want, and it really presents as a lot more of a premium product because it's all packaged
Yeah.
all in together and you can mix different materials so it gets you the best of everything.
I love that. Yeah, I think you've got a really good point, and it actually brings me to thinking about one of the hottest things I think for 2026 is activations. And whether that's an employee event, whether it's a trade show where you're trying to get the attention of customers, like, could you potentially have a water bottle that you're giving away at this event that's got your logo engraved on it or printed on it or whatever, and then have the activation be all these stickers that they get to pick and choose and make their own water bottle right then and there. Like it's a perfect way to do an activation with something that they get to make their own without really too much on-site effort required. So I love that's like I think stickers they do the second I get a cool one, I can't wait to put it somewhere. My problem is like, but where do I put it? I don't want to put it on a water bottle that I'm not using very often, or my laptop. I love it on my laptop, but I don't see that as often. And so my problem is decisions, like trying to decide what I'm going to do with that super cool one. So I love that. Thank you for pointing that out. There's just a few other last minute things that I want to talk about that hopefully Mitchell can help elaborate on. There have always been the possibility of having roll labels, and those have a place versus having an individual label or sticker or decal, you name it, you call it what you would like to call it. Can you talk a little bit to why a roll label, when and how a roll label is the best use?
Yep, absolutely. So roll labels, I would say, kind of fall into one kind of really category, which is like following the application and absolutely knowing the application. If you know this is somebody's, doing, custom pickles for, an event, or packaging for a box that says like packed with love, and or wine or beer labels, or anything where it's like kind of packaging related, or you want to be able to have like let's say there was a charity run and everybody wants to quickly put their name on them, and roll labels are very quick to kind of like peel and stick.
Yeah,
It's fully temporary in the sense that like it doesn't really, you don't need that same quality aspect to be like having it as a die cut single, although you are still getting like dishwasher safe, removable, permanent. Like in terms of the roll world, it has the most variations.
okay.
But it's very much an application specific thing. And the whole reason why a lot of people use rolls is they might have like a roll dispenser. So
Right.
when it comes to actually having the roll, you have the ability to just peel them off and stick them very easily onto the product. So think role and then think product or like application.
Perfect. Yeah, that I mean, it used to be the rolls were just the most affordable, but the really they become the just best for whatever the use is.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously individual stickers. And can you talk a little about what I kind of touched on where this story that way back like 20 years ago, I had a client that wanted some hard hat stickers. They needed 600, and I basically told them it was going to be $50 cheaper to order 1,000. And they
Mm.
were like, "What?" And I said, "Well, the reality is that there's huge economies of scales with stickers. They get exponentially cheaper the more you get as a price each. And it just happened to be for what they were looking at, 600 was more expensive than ordering 1,000. It doesn't make sense to like, it doesn't logically make sense. And if they
Hmm.
were just going to throw them away, it wouldn't matter if it was cheaper or not, but they did have uses for them. And so can you kind of talk about why, from a production standpoint, that makes sense? And I bring this up because I will oftentimes, if a client asks, like, hey, I want 1,000 stickers, I will show 2,500 or 5,000 just because you might be able to get 5,000 and have it not even be double the price of a
Yeah.
thousand. And so can you talk about why that is?
Yeah, I guess like my first kind of, or like one of the good examples of understanding this is roles versus pages. You can order one page or a roll, but you actually can't order one sticker on a roll. So
Mm,
this is where you have to know the material you're using to understand that like there is production limitations to what product that you actually choose. and that when you go increase in quantity, your discount in price per sticker always is dropping because it's actually production wise, we're doing the same amount of work and the same amount of setup and the same amount of everything for one sticker that we are for doing 1,000 or 10,000. It's the same thing. So it does help to order at larger quantities because you're getting a lot better of a cost savings on your order or your
Initial.
project. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically the initial setup is just spread out over a lot greater number, and that setup is more expensive. Can you order 10 stickers?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
You
they're
could do it.
probably expensive per sticker, but the reality is sometimes you need 10 stickers. And and so we'd rather you get 10 stickers than not get any at all. But it used to be that you absolutely, like way back, in the Stone Ages when I started, you really couldn't get 10 stickers. Like there just
Yeah.
wasn't even a possibility. Now, with the improved technology, you can get smaller quantities if you need. And I think it's a great opportunity to even try something out. Okay, I think that pretty comes pretty close to ending. Does anybody have any questions that they want to put in the chat for Mitchell or myself to answer? No? Okay, well, if you're watching this, I'm going to do a quick screen share. Here is our information on how to reach us at Ideation. You can always reach out to me or the say hello at weareadiation.com, and our team will help you get insanely creative on doing the coolest stickers to stand out for your audience. I want to thank Mitchell so much for taking your time today to help explain all things stickers and get me really excited about the next sticker project I have in mind.
Yeah, one thing I'll say, the best thing you guys can do is that grab some samples. I can certainly send as much as I can to Stacy, and that's the best way to touch and feel the products, so you get an idea of it, and that's no problem. So don't be shy to ask for some samples. Everybody
Okay,
wants
you
some.
heard that. You heard that from Mitchell. If you need a sample, reach out to anybody at Ideation and we will make sure and get them for you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a lovely Monday.